Welcome to the Effects Loop and the Clifton Worley Show. I'm Diaz.
I'm Cliff.
I'm Chris.
I'm Scott. And we also have some special guests with us. We have Daniel Shields from Guitar Engineering. DS Guitar Engineering.
One of those.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. We have the Mark Schwartz.
The $2 guy.
He's just Mark, you can talk into the microphone. You can't just mouth profanities at me.
I mouth front of the show.
We have the one and only Devin Equitz.
Hey there.
Wait, what?
Equitz Guitars. Nah, his real name's Kevin. And we got Nick Hamilton.
No other intro other than just Nick Hamilton.
The other.
The Nick Hamilton.
The man with a guitar collection of envy. Let's just put it with that.
Thank you.
All right.
And Dan's
So-
brother.
Put some context in here. We just wrapped up NAMM Thursday.
Day one.
Day one.
It sucked. Well, I mean, like, not in a bad, like, I'm tired.
Oh, we traveled and then
No, like, it didn't suck. I mean, it sucks right now because,
I'm tired.
yeah, I'm exhausted.
That's a bold move, Cotton.
You have to talk into the mic if you.
That's a bold move, Cotton.
Let's see if it
Oh,
pays
it's
off.
so much funnier
Yeah.
the second time.
Hey,
We still got laughs.
can you say it one more time for me, just to make sure we like nailed it?
charge.
I'm sure it'll come up again.
Diaz, it's
Yes.
from a movie.
What?
Yeah.
It plays on ALS all the time.
Oh my god! All right, so hold on, really quick, before everyone thinks that we're a bunch of like morons who hate Luke Gehrig or something, we went.
Fraternity brother.
We're doing Tarantino style.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Sorry. Can we edit
Mark's
this out
just
and
in his
post?
phone. He's already done.
All right.
I'm actually watching the live stream right now.
We're live streaming in 60 cycle hum, and like we can't focus. We're all exhausted. We're all like coming down with like the Namthrax early.
There's
But
like a 5-second delay.
You're not supposed to listen to it.
You can hear us laughing
Oh
right
my
now.
gosh. All right, so we're gonna do a Tarantino. I'm gonna talk about the end of the day first. So the last thing we really did before we came to the house was we went to East Side Music and
Eastman.
East Side
They
Music
had an
Supply.
Eastwood there. I don't know
they
if you
did have an
noticed.
Eastwood. So we went there and we bailed because well, the party was kind of wherever we went because everyone was hanging out. So we went over to Checkers and we were talking, and somehow I mixed up American Sign Language ASL with ALS. We were talking about doing sign language in church because I'm from Assemblies of God and like
Ice
the
Bucket
90s.
Challenge.
Yeah. Don't do the ice bucket challenge with
In
people
church.
with sign language in church. That's not good. But yeah, that's what that's about. Well, everyone's slightly confused. So I guess we'll go around and talk about like cool things we saw today. Kind of do a recap of what you saw and what you want to go back and visit. Because today for the effects loop, we just kind of like did table touches. We just like tried to hit as many tables and talk to people and kind of gauge who we actually wanted to spend time interviewing and who actually had some cool new stuff coming out. We actually hit Gibson.
Yeah.
Did a really cool tour with them in their booth. That's the word I was looking for. I was getting there.
And Chris is like wearing on his hat right now his new support.
I
He's-
support the new Gibson.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they've got 2019 stuff coming out, which is really cool. Did you go over there, Clifton?
No, I've not met it yet. I'm hoping to go by there tomorrow.
Talk to Aljon. He can give you like
Okay.
a really good tour. He was the man. All I did the whole time was just like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's sweet.
that was one
Yeah,
of the
like the whole time. That's
That,
my
Totally
point.
guitar.
that was one of the first things I posted today because I was like, Chris was running a little late. Weather was terrible for a lot of our folks coming in. Oh, well, it's terrible for Cliff.
You slept in. It wasn't the weather. It was he slept in a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Marissa was messaging us, and like she's like, I'm ready to go, but he's asleep. I was like, wake him up.
Yeah. So first thing I saw, I'm immediately Double Cut Junior
Yeah.
satin finish.
It's single P90.
As it should be.
They changed the pick guard a little
Yeah,
bit.
I'm a little bummed that it's not the standard dog ear configuration, but at the same time, that at least allows you to get, some other standard P90 size pickups to put in there and swap out. So, not
Did
too bad.
anyone get a chance to pick it up?
I did.
He did.
Yeah.
He was playing
It
on
was
it whenever we,
smooth.
like when
As
we
soon as
started
we got
recording.
there, I like pass off the camera, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna sit down.
Yeah, Nick, you got to play it?
Yeah, I played it. It sounded. I mean, well, I played it just acoustically. I didn't plug it in. It sounded good. Felt good in my hands. One of the things that Kevin noticed when he had it, I'm throwing Kevin out here,
Don't drag me
is
into this, man.
it was on the bridge, right, for the intonation. It had two screws sticking out that really, eventually, you're gonna hit your hands on it. And can you talk more on that? Possibly, I don't know.
Are they doing like the Melody Maker kind of thing where it's got a adjustment screw that's sticking out, or what is it?
Yeah, so it's compensated, but it's like it's a one piece, and so you can make kind of like, I guess, larger adjustments based on how you tilt it by those set screws that go perpendicular to the post. But they were just sticking out
Yeah, you lost me at perpendicular, but yeah, it sounds
like this.
No, I know.
It's one of those that, while for around, probably $700-800 guitar, it's a great value.
Definitely.
It's gonna nag you if those are out, right? If you're playing it constantly and you're resting your hand, you're trying to mute while you're playing it, you're gonna nail it every time. I think.
Since it's USA made, I mean, it might be possible to find a good retrofit. Like you probably put a different like one piece wraparound on those posts. I'm sure the spacing isn't all that crazy.
Yeah,
So-
good tone pros on there will probably take care of it in a heartbeat.
So the biggest flaw, other than the fact that it looks like it just came out of a flood on my Strat that's sitting over there, is on the high E string, the two raising saddles on that bridge.
Yeah.
For the high E string are they're sticking out pretty proud. I know you can shave those down a little bit, and I just haven't gotten around to it.
Screws, yeah.
Yeah. So
Just grind off the bottom of the screw.
Yeah, is it possible to do? Do you think that would be possible to do on that?
Yeah, as long as you know like how far, like how much you would need. I would just mark it with a Sharpie and then take it out, cut it down, and put it back in so it'd be flush.
Very cool. Yeah. So I think that's going to sell well. I mean, we've been asking for this.
Yeah, it's definitely better than 1700 for the current junior.
Gibson did really good in 2019 listening to the consumer. So a lot of stuff is coming back that went away. They're coming out with a 61 reissue SG again.
Oh yeah,
and so that's one that people have really been bugging for. With the 61, the neck is a little bit of a thinner neck, and it's pretty cool that they're really kind of fixing the mistakes they've made in the past few years, kind of making it right. And Mark's pointing at the random Indian picture in our Airbnb.
Pay attention to the group. We're probably going to do a live stream of this house at some point. This Airbnb is...
Oh, with the creepy Elvis Presley that's in your room?
It's going to be in your room, but before I go to bed.
There's literally a Bates Motel.
Like, did you move it? And like, no.
It's on its own. What are you talking about?
I think one of the coolest guitars was that 235 they're coming out with, right? Yeah. So it's
Hamilton's
an
keeping us on focus. Yeah.
ES235. It's a single cutaway ES335 thickness. Basic black, some kind of cream ivory binding, and it's like your barroom brawler for somebody that's wanting the feel of a 335.
They had a cherry cola, or what was it?
It was the modern.
The modern with the cherry cola finish.
Yeah, that
was a gorgeous finish.
Yeah.
Like that, the finishes they're coming out with are really nice too.
Oh, that metallic black.
Yeah, they had that custom shop looking metallic black. So from afar you couldn't see the metallic. It's when you got up and you saw like that sparkle to it. I mean, it was great.
Yeah, that's definitely, you can tell Gibson's making an effort to be like almost apologetic. Like, we're really sorry, so we're gonna do the stuff you guys have been begging us for years. So I mean, but
I did not see one robot tuner anywhere on that floor.
I was looking. I really was. Like every guitar, I was like,
because they had a high performance on the floor. Did that have
the SG high performance? That it just had the 24 fret neck. The
no robo tuners. It has push pull on all four knobs. He said it was close to like 100 different configurations. I don't know how to do math, so I'm trusting him.
It had more of that. It had an actual grain to it. You could see it had a different paint job than what your standard.
Yeah,
it was a little more upgraded, and it had that slimmer profile neck, more of that.
The 0 fret,
speed. Yeah, 0 fret,
which I think it was like titanium 0 fret. So someone was paying attention in class today. Very proud of you, Nick.
Thank you.
I interviewed the guy. I don't remember all that.
I couldn't hear anything, so I was just like, okay.
Yeah, the whole time.
I'm terrified if that audio is going to turn out because so last year we did the NAMM floor, not trying to create any content, and I was like, oh, it's not too loud here. It's fine. Now that I'm like actually running a mic on the stage, or we're there trying to record stuff, I'm like, will these people shut the hell up? Like I was just like,
language.
oh.
Yeah.
Timestamp that. So
Yeah, we will
bleep it
go
out.
back.
No, I'm
It
leaving that
wasn't
in.
even me, Clifton. I want to point that out. It wasn't me. Air high five. All right, so
Does anybody ever edit out what they say they're going to edit
no,
out? 'Cause
no,
I
that's-
do.
No,
you do? Okay.
Oh, really? See, that's our ongoing joke is we can fix that in post, and we never fix that in
No.
post. The only time they've taken stuff out is like if we went
Is if it's
really
been really
long,
bad.
or I don't think we. What have we taken out that was really really bad?
I don't know.
I don't think we have.
I just cut
mention
it.
it
I
because
cut when
Most
you were-
of Diaz's audio.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just cut all of my audio.
Just select
All right.
Oh shoot, we're not recording Diaz.
Oh no! What will
Back
we
to-
do? Oh no!
Back
Anyway,
to bringing Clifton in, though. He did a good job at Winter NAMM. Whatever the mic setup you were using, like, out of all that crazy noise, you were able to get...
Yeah, I was taking a dynamic mic and running it to my iPhone.
Oh, you were touching your chest. I thought you were like, I taped it to my chest. And
Taped
it was
it to
like
my
outward.
chest.
Are you wearing a wire right now, Clifton?
He clipped it. He clipped it onto
He
the
had
bill
it
of
in
his
his
hat.
Did he go hit up the ice machine?
He's got an E906 dangling off the front of his hat. He can't see where he's going, but it sounds amazing.
Yes, Nick.
You just
All
take
right.
you take the XLR cord and you wrap it around your neck. And let your mic hang down.
Oh, I was like, Clifton, if you need to talk, like,
This just took a
I mean, there's
really
places
dark
we can talk.
that sounds dark, but that did not come from a dark place.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
It's like a necktie.
No, I believe you.
Yeah.
I do have to say, the other favorite thing that I was really surprised by and not expecting to be surprised by at the Gibson booth, just to kind of wrap that up, was that custom double cut.
Yeah, the one where the one horn was lower than the other.
Yeah, and everyone was kind of
modern.
knocking it when it got announced.
Yeah, the
It
custom
looked-
modern.
It
Yeah.
It looks so
really
good
nice.
in person.
It honestly looks like if a boutique builder was to come out with that, you'd be like, yeah.
So yeah, and that's what he was saying was before the custom shops offered these limited runs that they did, but nobody's really doing that custom shop like Taylor did what they used to call the BTO, built to order.
Mm-hmm.
You could go to your local dealer and say I want XYZ and they would do it. And Gibson's trying to bring that back so you can get that standard model, whether it's an SG, the new modern, which is what you guys are talking about, or anything, and then add your flair to it.
Because I asked him, I was like, "Are you coming out with like anything Dave Grohl related?" Like, and he's like,
Diamonds.
he was like, "No, but you can call our custom shop and you can get one made." And I was like, you know what?
Okay.
I can't afford that, but okay, now I know.
Which is cool, right? Because we all see these acts that are performing nationally, they're touring, and they have this cool cut. And Dave Grohl's one of them for sure, right? He
Yeah.
always had something custom. You see the I'm gonna go country female here, but the Miranda Lambert with a pink Gibson Dove that just I'd play it. It's kind of cool, right? But you see these people with these custom guitars, you can't buy them anywhere.
Yeah.
Gibson's not gonna make it for you. Or old Gibson
weren't.
wouldn't, but the new Gibson that's on Chris's
Yeah.
hat.
Do you support it, Nick?
I do. I do support new Gibson.
I've got two hats.
I do
Just
too.
quick note that Chris actually just took off his hat.
Oh,
Is that your? Are you no longer supporting Gibson, Chris?
I am still supporting it.
yeah, and we've
Okay.
got a tour tomorrow.
Of the
So
factories.
if you're listening to this episode, it's not tomorrow, but for us, it's tomorrow.
It's sometime
We're
next week.
we're going to the Gibson Custom Shop, and we're gonna get a tour. So that's gonna be pretty
on
cool.
Friday, June 29th.
At
You're like
one-
on it, dude. You actually know what date it is? I
I'm
don't.
lucky to know what year it is. I have no clue what's going
I mean, we
on.
just had another Jurassic Park movie come out, so I mean, it's
What
93.
year is it? We can yell that meme. It's getting old. So if you're putting that meme up, just please stop. Clifton, what did you see today?
Well,
He's about to see the back of his eyelid.
I know, right? I'm yawning pretty hard.
It's all pass out.
First place I went was the boutique guitar booth, and saw Doug Cower's guitar there.
Is it Super Chief?
Yeah, it was a
Pink.
one.
It was like kind of pink. Yeah.
It was kind of pink.
But like two-tone, like the sides were lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
was a gorgeous guitar.
It was, and stopped and talked to Jonathan Fellows for a while. He was hanging out, and then went by D'Angelico.
That was literally the first thing we
That
did.
was the first thing because they've got. I've been drilling over the newer. I don't know what I can't remember what the model is, but it's kind of a weird looking. I'd say looks like something Gibson would really put out. I'm trying to think of what I could compare it to.
To be honest, does anybody know D'Angelico's models out there?
No,
Not
I don't.
a whole lot.
Well, so today, D'Angelico is running perpendicular to the Gibson booth.
We keep using that word. I don't think it means exactly what
I don't think that means what you think it means.
Yeah.
So, no
bold
lie,
move,
I
Cotton.
accidentally walked from the
bold move.
Gibson booth into D'Angelico, and I was like, man, these new finishes are great for Gibson. Oh.
You couldn't tell by the gaudy headstocks. If there's one thing I could change about that brand, it's the headstocks. And the tuning pegs, like, what's up? Like, it looks like some, like, 1920s. I guess that's what they're going for, because they're the older.
Yeah, they're going for that. It's that
Yeah,
Art
it
Deco
doesn't-
kind of revivalist
I feel like that
style.
That's like
I
kind
have
of
to
for
play
me,
jazz if I use that.
That is like the
I
splitting
have to
point
learn
in my
jazz if I buy
decision-making
one.
on them.
I know
Now,
a jazz
they had-
chord.
they
I
had,
throw
like,
it in once in a while. It's
The
really sweet.
I've played a jazz chorus.
style
Yeah.
that I thought was cool, but they had one that was like more. It wasn't shaped just like a Les Paul, but it was more like in that territory, and I liked that one a whole lot better than the Semi-Hollow.
D'Angelico, if you look like at any of their videos, it's always like clean jazz playing. But
Yeah.
those things, I played them at my local guitar center, and you can get some grit out of them. They're a nice quality brand. Their price point is probably right about where they should be, kind of in the close to $1,000 range, give or take a couple hundred, either which way. So they've got a really good brand going. So, and the fact that they've got all these crazy artists like Bob Weir, like they really hit that at like the right time, especially with John Mayer doing was it
Dead and Company.
Dead and Company, and then so they've done that, and I forgot who else they've had join up with them.
It seems like, and not to knock them, but it seems like, and I was talking about this earlier with somebody else, when they first relaunched that brand, it almost was like they were giving out like candy to a lot of artists just to be like, hey, play this, get out there. You know, if you like it, play it out there. And so you saw him everywhere from Bob Weir. You know, he's got his own signature, right, or his own thing. And
they got a signature.
a lot of these guys, Jared Scharf on SNL, you know, who's a very big guitarist out there for studio guys and other stuff. So it's on Saturday night on NBC now. And so they're everywhere, and they did give them out a lot, but it's gotten them a lot more brand recognition out there than they had to begin with. And I mean, it's like you said, it's a great product for around $900 to I think like $1,100.
That's a very attractive price point.
It really is for what you get. I mean, the one color I didn't care for was the Banana Boat faded yellow today.
Yeah.
You didn't get on the boat?
I did not get on the boat. I played it, but I did not stay on the boat.
All right.
And then so who? Let's see, Mark. What did you see that piqued your interest?
I didn't get all around to playing a whole lot of things today. I'm really excited for the Chase Bliss Therme. I messed around with it a couple weeks ago, and I got to revisit it today, and that was really neat. I really want to try out one of the Benson amps, and Walrus has one of them at their booth, and I'm going to try and make my way to that this weekend.
Okay, nice. And who hasn't spoken? I'm so.
Which Benson is at the Walrus booth?
Was it a Monarch?
It's a Monarch Reverb, I think,
Yeah,
or at
it's
least
one
a
of the
Monarch combo.
It's one of the combo units.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Daniel didn't make it. He actually like coasted in towards the end, but so we can't ask him. We'll ask you tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll ask him on the next episode.
Yeah, but you've got let's see. Did you bring any toys? I know you brought the. We've a few of us have the chronograph already here. You actually adjusted the time on mine because it was off by like 6 minutes. So I guess it was bugged. We went to East Side Music, and I come back.
What's bad is that you noticed that.
No, I was told about it. I wouldn't have noticed.
That was brought up before we left.
They're just like well, I told him I was like, yeah, the time's off by like 6 minutes, and I said I'm just too lazy to change it. I come back, and I hear Daniel changed the time on your chronograph. He's just like, yeah, I did. So, because Daniel's got. Yeah, he's got that voice I always talk about. Like, that could just, you want him to read you a bedtime story. It's just so soothing. She's like, yeah, I did. I'm just like, okay, not even upset.
You guys aren't planning on having Clifton and Daniel do bedtime stories tonight? Because
oh my gosh.
I'll just live stream it.
I can read y'all some bedtime stories.
Let's make it happen. It'd be like we can,
What's that? What's the thing?
Patreon only content.
Yeah, what's the thing where the people talk like real soft?
ASMR.
Like you guys are doing like we're doing like
ASL.
It's ASMR.
all right, guys, we got some ASL tonight. We're going to go to bed real good.
Can you turn your hands up, sir? I can't hear you.
Oh my god. Clifton's not going to post this on his. I know he's not. He's
right.
going to be like, yeah, I'm just going to go a different route.
So one of the highlights from my walk today was Old Blood Noise Endeavors.
Old boys.
Old boys.
There's a lot of old boys
Them
there.
old boys over at the Old Blood Noise Endeavors. Yeah.
Old boys and tall boys.
I haven't learned my lesson of not trying to do Southern accents on the show yet.
It's borderline insulting to those who have
How
them.
dare you?
It's everybody else.
Clifton's gonna kick your butt, but he will sound good doing it. That's all that matters.
We need to step outside, Scott.
And Clifton just came off the Southern accents episode. It's even better.
So they're really showing off 3 pedals today. We only got 2 on video because the new the chorus reflector.
The reflector, they got a V2 coming out.
Yeah, that was not on their like demo board that we hooked up to and actually ran things on for a video that should be coming out. But their new phaser delay combination was fantastic.
I fell in love. What was it called again?
I was hoping you remembered.
Yeah. Have you met me? Not gonna happen, man.
Chris?
I was not in any of that conversation.
If Nathaniel was here, he would know, but he had to go home early because he's
Bedtime.
18.
Yeah.
It's bedtime. He had to go to sleep.
He had curfew. It was a really easy name too.
Well, they had the Alpha Hunt, which was really cool. We talked about that on a previous episode. I think it was a couple episodes ago, and it was really neat that we got to talk about that and mess with it. So the cool thing is that apparently some of the guys from Old Blood have listened to the podcast. So if you guys do listen to this,
we have nothing but nice things to say about you from here on out.
You guys are awesome. So they had the Flatlight, and then the Flatlight was another one that we got to play, which Scott talked about before. And on their website, they don't have it.
Yeah, I've been in love with the Flatlight since I got to try that probably February-ish.
Yeah, hold on.
I've kept my eye on it. I haven't pulled the trigger yet.
So the Flatlight was the flanger?
It's the flanger and a delay work together. So it doesn't just do your jet flyover kind of thing. It really does some really interesting tones I would never have expected to be called a flanger.
Yeah. So if you guys get the Dweller, that's what it was called.
The Dweller.
The Dweller. So that was I fell in love with that because
you dialed it in almost immediately, one pedal, and just played the riff from the Warmth and just nailed it.
Okay, I got a point. Like, I've spent way too much time listening to Incubus and watching Incubus, so I usually that's honestly my go-to if I've got a phaser or like any sort of like delay with a slight chorus or something. That's the first thing I try to get is that. So, but it's really cool because it's a phaser and it's got a delay in it, and it's just
it again does that thing like you get the traditional effect there. But then it just goes in directions you never would have thought about.
Yeah, you hit one little switch and it goes nuts, and you're like, "This is insane," and I'm gonna have fun with it.
It does a stuttering kind of thing, which is really interesting because it's completely random.
But we don't have anything against people who stutter. Just throwing that out there before people get upset about that too. So, because everyone's getting upset about stuff.
We have 8 mics set up in dead silence in the room.
No, that's fine. I'm gonna call people out. Hey, listen, if you got a problem. You know what's bad.
What about people that
sign? It was straight up. All right, I won't do it.
Hey, I'm curious though. Did anybody go by the Fender booth?
Yeah.
I did a quick walk, but we have an appointment with them tomorrow, so that's when we're going to go real in depth.
Yeah, they had a couple of cool things. They had they had a custom telly there, a double bound custom telly that looked really cool. But that was, I don't know, they've
got 2 new pedals, apparently, according to the press releases. I haven't been able to try them yet.
Yeah, they did. I know they got the 2 new pedals, and then they've got they had 2 new Jimi Hendrix models that looked pretty neat. So it's kind of doing the good old fashioned. Yeah, the Koi cable that
Ooh.
goes with it. But I'm not going to talk to Fender tomorrow, because if they ask me, I'm going to be like, what are you guys doing? I'm not happy with Fender. I'm more happy with Gibson, and that's a problem. Like, I own Gibson, but like whenever you're like Gibson's doing something great and Fender's kind of like over here doing this thing.
I'm withholding judgment until I actually pick up the Player Series and try them.
I thought their Jazz Masters were really cool.
It's not a Jazz Master.
Oh God! Okay.
Okay,
Wow.
tell us why.
So
A Jazz Master has Jazz Master pickups. Fender needs a name for the 25.5 scale offsets that have humbuckers. They just need to come up with a new name, be done with it. It's not the Tornado. We went through that, how many episodes ago?
I've lost track.
Yeah.
It's hard to name a guitar.
I get that, but I just want them to call it something.
Make it Jazz Master something, or
like the Jazz Master Plus, or like something. Okay, so all right. So you say it's hard to name guitars. So what are your models of guitars, Kevin? So that's Kevin talking, because there's 8 of us, and if you're trying to keep track of the voices, good luck. So the name of your models, you've got
Rayburn,
Okay.
Devera, Ashford.
Okay, so how'd you come up with those?
They're actually all from a baby name generator.
No,
Because I wanted names that meant something, and
Yeah.
so it's
Were
kinda-
these the rejected names when you had your daughter?
No.
Is that what? Okay.
So it's kind of this word picture of a tree by a stream, and so Ashford literally means like a ford is like a shallow place in the river, so it's like an ash tree by a ford.
Oh, cool.
Devera, it was spelled a little different, but I kind of liked it, in my head it sounded like Devera, so I changed the spelling. But it's like the land between the trees and the water, and then Rayburn is a stream, essentially with it said like a roebuck, like a deer drinking out of a stream.
When are you going to name one Schenectady?
And then the new one that I'm working on, so far the name Ainsley is kind of where we're going, which means one's own meadow. It's basically a gender neutral name, and the meaning of it we thought was pretty significant.
That's actually a really cool backstory that I would never have picked up had you not told me.
You guys
Yeah,
are
you feel bad
welcome. My
for laughing at
curiosity
his
finally
baby
paid off
generator.
for something.
Yeah.
I'm just like, so how do you name your guitars? So, I mean, they got to do something with Fender to, like, I agree with you, to separate it. Because, I mean, I don't like Jazzmaster pickups. They're just not my cup of tea. So, I mean...
I own one and I love it. I mean, but they're not for everybody. And, like, I mean... The whole thing with the Jazzmaster, for like the kind of the story of it, is it's kind of a failure that then picked up later.
Because of hipsters. That's literally what happened. Hipsters are like, you mean this was rejected?
Not counting the whole surf movement, like when it came out in the 60s?
Yeah.
Well, but that's...
It was supposed to be a jazz guitar, obviously, because of the name, but...
Well, even then, what wasn't... no, that was the Mustang that was the student line, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the Mustang, that was like the big one that like hipsters, like, they're like, oh, no, it's great. It's real tiny. And like, I don't know.
Was the Mustang ever popular until the grunge era?
I don't think Mustangs were even really popular in the grunge era that much. I think they really hit popularity, especially finding the older models just recently, with the past few years, in my opinion. But
I mean, you had Cobain with a Jag Stang.
yeah, but Cobain also just... No, I'm not even going to talk about Kurt Cobain. I'm going to tick off a lot of people. So. There was one guy who says it was in a group, and the guy was like, they're talking about something about Nirvana, and the guy was like, yeah, whatever, Nirvana, and the guy was like, you try to play those riffs perfectly. I was like, dude, Kurt Cobain could even play those riffs perfectly. Like, what are you talking about? But that's my spiel on Kurt Cobain. So, quiet.
Do you want to talk about
Yeah, let's talk about
Kevin's
talk
guitar,
about-
since
talk
we
about-
actually finally got to play
I
one?
finally got to play one.
Yeah, most of us finally got to play one, I think, today.
Clifton.
It was
Did you
our
get to
first
play
time.
one?
I've been playing them for a while. Yeah.
Have you?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
you got to go to one.
Oh yeah, Clifton actually gets to do cool stuff.
And
We're
the
just-
one day, they were at the one day.
Yeah. But I mean, I love them.
Yeah, they're,
Yeah.
You don't have to say that. You want me to leave so you can get honest about it?
I would say that
You don't
without
want to hear
in the
how
room.
much he loves them if you leave. That's
Actually, I'd be gushing if you weren't
Clifton,
in the
keep
room.
your shirt
so.
on. They're just guitars.
well, Kevin's here. It's that cool call. Like, yeah, they're all right. They're good.
Do we?
They're good. You know?
Clifton needs to turn his like front-facing cam on his live stream on for accountability right now.
There we go.
He's like,
There we go.
I have a top on. I'm good to
He's getting all Albert.
He's got Albert style unbuttoning as he talks.
go. Okay, that was
That T-shirt also doesn't count.
Real quick, I love today that anytime I saw Albert after he got there, he had
The shirt
the
kept
Albert
getting
Mafia
longer.
with him. The buttons kept going down, but you see Nathaniel on one side, you see somebody else with him, and then you see Anthony with him. It was like he had his own little mob with him. Just
Isaiah.
walking around,
Isaiah.
chains, with the button every time. I mean, like, it looked like he was just making deals, walking
Since
around
there
the
were
floor.
4 of them, on his name badge, it said, Albert 4. It was like, that's the Albert 4
Yeah.
right there.
He was with Albert 1, Albert 2, and Albert 3, right? Yeah, I enjoyed running into Sinusoid today because they literally handed me an order I made 2 weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
He's just like, here you go. Sorry it took so long. And I was like, I don't care.
That's
I
impressive.
knew I was going to see you.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got Kevin's guitars are on the floor now. Kevin, are you going back to the Stringjoy booth tomorrow, you think, with them?
Probably.
That's really cool.
Well,
Diaz
hold
is
on.
really excited too because we also have a fun piece of news.
Okay,
there.
so like we're gonna do this like totally weird. We're doing it in the middle of the episode.
We're not stealing this from another podcast, by the way.
Did someone do this in the middle of a podcast?
You really don't listen to podcasts ever.
I don't. All right, so here's the thing. I'm on a podcast. I listened to 60 Cycle Hum up to like episode 150 or so, or I don't know. And I just
That was like a year and a half ago.
yeah, no, it's been a while since I've listened to any podcasts. So I listen to Clifton's every once in a while whenever I get a chance. I listen to ours whenever I want to see what people are complaining about.
Like, what did I say?
Yeah, what did I say? And listen, if you want to quote me or complain about something I said, I don't remember saying
Do it.
I'm gonna let you
Extra listen.
I do the podcast sober, ready to go, but I sleep, so I forget stuff whenever I sleep. And then, did we lose someone?
No, Nick's grabbing beer, and I
Oh
want
no!
one.
Shh.
What?
We're gonna have
He's drinking coffee.
Coffee.
Yes.
Coffee.
Coffee.
for all you Clifton Worley listeners.
Confifi.
We are all drinking soda, being good gentlemen. So, kafivi? Oh no! We
I
can't
already
get
said a bad
political.
word in the
Coffee.
podcast. I'm not pretending anything anymore.
Which is funny because
Well,
you.
I'm drinking coffee.
No, Clifton
Yeah.
really is drinking
Yeah, yeah.
coffee. Throwing that out
So
there.
he's not sleeping too.
He's a good kid. But where were we at? I don't even know.
We were talking about
Yeah, we went from Eclipse
Kevin's guitars.
Kevin's guitars. So where did we end up?
So
Sponsorship.
Let's
Oh,
put coffee
so-
to your brain.
Okay, we actually have a sponsor, a new sponsor. We got everything kind of confirmed today. So the Effects Loop episode is brought to you by Stringjoy. So we're really excited
Nice.
to bring them on as a sponsor, and for them to sponsor us. Scott there is a great guy, and so really check him out. We're gonna have him on, and we're gonna try to do. One of the things about Stringjoy is that they try to get you a string set that's custom to you, or that's going exactly for what you sound like. So they do kind of like a consultation. They can do like a consultation email and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna try them out on my SG. I'm gonna be like, hey, I'm playing this SG. I play this style, and this is what I'm going for a feel." And they'll be like, yeah, no, this is kind of where you want to go. So that's really something you should check out. They still have like prepackaged sets. They had those at NAMM today.
I've
So
actually used their stuff, so I can back
Yeah.
it up.
yeah.
And I've
So
got a consultation, and Scott does a really good job at picking what you need.
yeah. So we're gonna be doing that with them and kind of working with them, and we're really excited to bring them on. So if you go check them out, and if you're looking for strings, we've all used quite a few different brands. See what Stringjoy is about. I've never heard anyone complain about Stringjoy. I can honestly say that. So I know.
Can I have my
They
vintage
just
piece of
handed-
history back before
They
you use
just
it?
handed me a Gear Supply Co. pick. I'm gonna throw
yeah,
that.
so we're looking forward to. We're going to be doing an episode with him very, very soon.
Yeah.
Actually, digging more into like what goes into his product, what works for us. We wanted to wait till all of us had a chance to kind of reassess what we're using as strings actually a little bit, and so I'm going to be moving gauges probably on my Jazzmaster. Going to be trying out a 10.5 set, a few of those kind of things. So we hope to have more content coming on that soon.
Yeah, definitely. So we just kind of stole that little segment there.
Nobody's done sponsorships before.
No, I'm not talking about we stole it from people. I'm talking about we stole the part of the show that we're recording currently
Yeah.
with Clifton.
But The String Joy booth is actually pretty cool because you got Kevin over there.
Yeah, so Kevin's guitars were over there, and we got to do a video.
And that wasn't necessarily by plan. I wasn't able to bring my guitars into the show without an exhibitor badge, and
The NAMM police will get you.
yeah, and they were legit this time because we tried it through a couple different doors, and they rejected me.
He's got different disguises on. He's like painted mustache.
Devin Equitz tried it. Kevin Equitz tried it. And Seven Equitz tried it.
We tried to like, do you know who I am?
Do the
Okay, no one else
Photoshop.
does.
You're either
Go
Devin
to-
or Kevin. We can't figure it out yet.
It was TLB style.
So Terry Lee Bolton was able to bring him in for. No, I'm kidding.
You started this, Diaz.
I know.
No.
Can we just say we saw Shotgun Bolton
We
today
saw-
too?
Yeah, shotgun Bolton. So whenever he's on the drums, he's shotgun.
Is that's what he calls
Well,
himself?
listen,
You know
the
what?
thing is,
Surprisingly, he was actually not
Yeah,
bad.
he is good.
don't let the
Yeah.
hat fool you.
I mean, but that paper goatee was just flapping in the wind, though, just as he was playing.
Oh my gosh. All right, hold on. Before Scott dies, I want to point out Terry Lee Bolton. If you happen to ever listen to this podcast, I want you to know that we really do love you, and like
Diaz is ready to buy you lunch.
I'm gonna buy you BLTs, and we're gonna do BLTs with TLB. I saw you like 4 times today. I didn't. So everyone was like messaging me, like my phone's blowing up, and I'm like sitting here freaking out. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? Everyone's like, Terry Lee Bolton's over here. I got Terry Lee Bolton sighting. We got TLB up in 107. And I'm just like, I was like, he's not wearing the cow print. I'm not gonna do it. I can't.
That
do
was
it.
the first message I got this morning when I was with Scott. Like Jamie Davis, Terry Lee Bolton sighting. It wasn't even like, where are you guys at? It was just TLB sighting.
Kevin texted me at one point about it. A bunch of people did. Yeah, it's
I saw him rocking out on some drums. I mean, he's a pretty good drummer.
He's not horrible.
Yeah.
His
He's
persona.
not a bad musician at all.
No, his persona is just. It's just one of those people that you see it happen in like your high school. The guy who like is the lead singer of the band, and he's walking around like acting like this, and you're sitting back going,
Is this
I don't
20
know.
years after high school? You see him walking around doing that still?
Dude,
Like-
he's got to be great at high school reunions.
"Oh my god!" No, he just posted not too long. Listen, I really do check his posts and everything. Like it's not like
When are you going to become president of his fan club? That's really what I want to
Wait a
know.
minute. Hey, where's Mrs. Diaz at so we can ask, like, at home, if you open the closet, is there a shrine to TLB with some
no,
cow
but there
print?
is a cardboard
cowboy.
Blake, and that gets a little creepy. But,
So,
I saw Cardboard Blake post earlier.
yeah, he's hitting the memories on Facebook.
apparently he was brought up in a Tone Mob podcast and resurfaced as a result. So, I think it was something that Blake did.
Yeah,
I don't
Blake
know.
actually messaged me today because we were going to try to do something. Because last year the whole Cardboard Blake started off as a joke, like we get Blake here, and then we're like, well, if we raise more money than it costs to make this, we're going to donate it to charity, and that was something that we got to do. And I messaged him and was trying to do something this year, but it didn't work out. But hopefully next year we get something going because it was really neat to do something silly but give back. And the fact that everyone's still, even though I don't have Cardboard Blake, they walk up to me this year. They're like, "You had the cutout of the guy last year." I was like, "I'm like, yeah, but I'm on a podcast now." They're like, "Cardboard." I'm like, "No."
Wait a minute. Cardboard Blake's not real?
He's tangible. He's in
my
your
garage.
There's
He really is in my
pictures.
garage.
I believe in Cardboard Blake.
I think I might do a Cardboard Blake like in memoriam. Like we'll do like with some Sarah McLachlan. Yeah. It became a PETA commercial really fast.
Sponsoring for ASL and ALS.
For just $10.
Yeah. We're all about those acronyms that start with A right now. Yeah, I love it.
For just-
ASPCA, I think those commercials
Yeah.
are. Yeah.
For just $10 a month, you can support a podcast that is bringing
$5
cardboard
a month,
people.
you can keep Cardboard Blake. Cardboard.
Out of the rain, so he doesn't wrinkle.
He's in a little bit of rough shape. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll be able to save him.
All right. I think the last highlight from today's walk of like the randomness. We're walking through, just trying to do our quick walk, and Diaz gets accosted by this woman who is selling stethoscopes for your guitar.
All right, so there was an item. Oh, what was? I'm gonna look it up because honestly, I want to do a shout out for this item. It was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was one of those items that you look at and you're like, it's just a, like you said,
it's just a stethoscope with Velcro on it.
It's a stethoscope and with Velcro, plastic tube that runs into an earpiece or earpieces, and you just put it on your guitar.
It's to check your heart, bro.
Well, you need
That's awesome.
It is.
I'd say mic drop, but that's my mic, so don't drop it.
Yeah, drop the 58 over.
Yeah.
It's called nogginrockers.com.
Yeah.
So it's like
It is made for stocking stuffers at Christmas.
It really
from your
is. It's under
relative who
$20.
thinks you play guitar and this is what you want.
yeah, it's like $18. And so go check it out. Like visit the website. And I'm not saying purchase it. If you think it's cool, purchase it. But what it is so it comes with like 4 Velcro pieces, and you Velcro the stethoscope piece to the back of your guitar, to the neck or the body, and you can listen to it. So you know what? Every time you go somewhere and you don't have an amp and you're trying to tune, you put your ear right to your guitar if it's an electric guitar, and it's sort of the same thing. And it's amplifying it to where you can hear it, and where you put it on the guitar changes the tone of it. I mean, you're not doing it because you want to sound like the recording or something like that. You're doing it because you've got an electric guitar and you're going through somewhere, or like you're traveling or something, and you just want to be able to hear what you're noodling with.
Mm-hmm.
So but yeah, that lady was like pretty intense. She like jumped out of nowhere. We were looking for string joy.
Yeah.
And I took us down the way wrong aisle. We ended up in the drum section, and and we like take a left, and I was like, wait, no, it's over there. She goes, what you're looking for is this right here. Like straight out of commercial. I was like, Flex Seal? Like, what's going on? Like,
Sham wow.
she's like, this is so amazing. I ripped it in half, and I'm going to put it back together. But that lady believed in that product, and more power to her. But it's definitely it's one of those things that you're like, I'm not going to buy it, but if someone bought it for you, you might mess around with it. Like you might actually use it.
It's this year's jellyfish pick. Do you remember that way
Dude,
back in the day?
It was in the Ultimate Guitar magazines.
Yeah.
And
I have one.
You have one. I think we've talked about it before.
Yeah, I have one.
But it was the jellyfish pick, and then the hot hand or whatever from like Source Audio, the like wah ring or whatever it was.
I think that needs to make a comeback.
That I don't know.
I wish I would have seen. I don't think it was there, we didn't hit every booth, but the guitar tambourine thing, right? We've seen the video on Facebook.
Where you put it in the acoustic
yeah.
guitar.
Yeah,
hole.
and the sound hole.
That guy went
That-
to my college. Who made it?
I remember you posting that.
Yeah.
And that's not carrying that.
Wow. Dude. Oh my god. Listen.
They're making the same face right now.
We love you, Mark. We really do.
Oh my god. Okay,
I'm just thinking Mark has been
Mark is
awesome.
4 feet
It's
from
been
his
so
microphone
crazy.
right now.
Okay,
I love Mark, but no,
the ongoing thing is if you ever get to hang out with Mark is a lot of fun to hang out with. So we hung out with him last year, and it's really fun because the way
He's like, where are you going?
the way Mark carries himself
yeah.
is very much not Southern hospitality style. He's pretty blunt, but now that it's getting turned on him, it's so sweet.
Bless your heart.
He was giving me crap because I couldn't parallel park that well. I'm like, what do you want to just park? He's like, yeah, give me the keys. And I let
I
him-
parallel parked for you.
yeah, I know, but we didn't care then either.
I love it though. Today, Mark, like we're all here. We don't have all the right stuff. Mark, it just pours down out of nowhere, and other than poor Clifton getting stuck in the weather, we all walk out like, oh crap, it's raining.
And then
Mark
comes over with this
disappears.
freaking hoodie.
Next thing I know, Mark walks in with like a North Face hoodie, parka on, with some exploring camping gear on. I was like, "What? You guys aren't prepared?" And then
Amateurs.
he comes in later on tonight with a flannel on because we're all like, "Man, it's kind of cold." Mark shows up with a flannel. Oh man, well, it's kind of hot now. I mean, he's always prepared.
Except for
Other
that.
than to take digs on himself.
Except for that.
It rains, so like for those who haven't been to Nashville, it rains a surprising amount here. So I just learned to carry a rain jacket in my backpack.
I mean, I have an emergency poncho in my car, but
I just get wet.
I was the nerd who actually had an umbrella on him today. So
The only umbrellas I like are the ones that you can slide out. And you feel like it's a lightsaber. That's me.
do you make a humming noise when you put it out? You're like,
No, but I start at my chest and I go down and I let it like sling out. I don't open the thing. I just do that.
So if you ever see Diaz walking with the umbrella and his family's walking away from him in the rain, it's because he's the new lightsaber kid.
All right, so in the final topic, what's the weirdest things you guys saw today, or like you had that one person who just really needs to talk to somebody and share their product, grab you, bring you in. I think there's a picture on our Instagram of me with like the smallest guitar ever.
Yeah, Oz guitars are like I believe that's it. That was actually really cool. I want us to go back and interview him. So it's a travel size guitar and it's modular. So like we all know the whole modular guitar thing for the most part hasn't worked. So modular pickguard with like Titan, something like that kind of works, but actually removing like the pickups and part of the body. We've seen them over the past few years at NAMM kind of come and go. I think
TV Jones has like modified guitars where they can do that. And I don't know. You've seen very different models on it, but this thing's tiny, but it was well balanced.
It's actually sounded really well. I listened to it through. It was one of the orange micro tears, the ones that you can use just like a headphone out, and it didn't sound bad. Like
he's got good pickups in him.
And then he's actually making it where you can like just put whatever pickups you want. But I mean that requires a little bit of know-how. But he said if you've got the piece to do it, you can change it out and just it's 4 screws. So I think he said they're not in proof of concept mode, but I think they still kind of are because they're finishing out some bugs. But it's something that he's doing something that's been done before, but hasn't been done well. And it seems like he has the potential to really knock it out of the park.
Yeah, it will fit in an overhead compartment without having to do any of like the neck collapsing. It's a full scale.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm intrigued. If work makes me start traveling again with my new job, I'm probably going to pick up.
You said
the
price point was around $1,200.
Yeah, less than that, I think.
No, it was 12.
12. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a little up there for a travel guitar.
Well, now that we found out Kevin's wait list is so long, maybe I'll have to buy a guitar in the interim. So.
That's fair.
He doesn't even know.
Yeah. Clifton, what's the weirdest thing you saw?
The weirdest thing.
Terry Lee Bolton.
Yeah, that was that. You know, he's a weird dude.
He's unique. I think that's the word we need to go for.
I saw some really interesting things at the boutique guitar booth.
I didn't spend much time there. I need to go back.
There's some that it's just so out of my wheelhouse, you know. And I know like it's got a target audience.
Yeah.
But
So for our listeners, what's kind of your wheelhouse? You're kind of more like the acoustic.
Yeah.
And then going into like Telecaster stuff like that.
Yeah, acoustic Telecasters, and I love
like classic style stuff.
Yeah, dual humbucker, Les Paul style guitars. But there was like a guitar there at the boutique that actually had like the couple of the frets were like carved out, and like there was just like, you saw that one, huh?
Scalloped?
They weren't scalloped. It was like completely missing. It was removed, and it was just like I guess the neck behind it.
Yeah, it was like as if the like what would be like the ebony of the fretboard, as if it was like cut out and you could see wood underneath it, and there was like writing underneath it or something, right? But it was kind of
said, "Help me!" Like the guy, he's in the middle of the building. He's like, his wife killed him. He's like, "Help me!" She still made the money taking it to NAMM though.
Yeah, it's clever.
Too dark.
So I didn't know what the intention
dark?
was there. Like that doesn't seem like it'd be playable at that fret.
It seemed like more of an artistic.
Yeah. But I don't know. That's a hard sell for me. If I was to drop, what were they asking for? Like $10,000 or something?
Oh heavens!
I
mean, it was
Hey, Kevin, you make full guitars. You could charge like twice that much.
No, he charges you to remove a fret.
There's what they charge and what they sell for. I mean, hopefully that guy's or lady, whoever's making those gets what they're asking for. But I mean, that's just the list price.
Was it filled in at the fret and it was just an artistic thing, or was it
No,
actually
like there was,
We're
it
gonna have
was
to get
like
a picture of this.
yeah.
we need to
Go
go,
check it
I'll
out
have to-
tomorrow.
yeah, I'll go look at it tomorrow.
But just imagine like there was a piece of the fretboard removed, and so whatever the thickness of the fretboard, that's how deep this area was.
Oh wow.
So you could see wood underneath, but it didn't. It's not like an accident. Like it was deliberately done.
Okay. Let's see. Who else? What else? Crazy stuff.
The
Nick, what'd you-
was it? Well, I mean, it's not super crazy, right? But was it Diodario that had the colorful strings? And maybe it's been out there, and I just finally saw it.
DR.
DR.
DR. Oh, well, we talked
Had
about that on
those.
an episode a while back. Like,
Yeah,
I
Nick.
might not have listened to that episode.
so the pop quiz on what we've talked about. Listen, we don't even know what we've talked about, so you're good. I just remember
ALS.
Dude,
No,
Diaz remembered what we talked about.
You know
That
it's
is
bad.
bad.
If I
That
don't
is
know.
bad. Probably the weirdest thing I saw, and again, it was my first NAMM experience, so it was like overwhelming, right? It's like the first time your kiddo, if you have him, goes to a candy store, and you're
Yeah,
just
the-
like,
you always like. I was trying to tell Nathaniel. Was it Berniker? Is that how you pronounce
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
See, I pronounced it correctly this time. But I was trying to tell him I was like slow down.
yeah, it was.
Well,
It's
and I
Pace
needed to hear that because I
yourself.
burned myself out by about 2 today.
yeah, you
Well,
guys,
I was like-
you guys lost me. I was like, I cannot keep up with them, and
Yeah.
Well, what happens with us is Scott starts talking to people.
So do
And he
you?
keeps talking. No. I usually get distracted. My ADD kicks in. And I'm like, oh, look at that. And I go off. And then somehow Scott comes around and finishes up. And then he starts talking to him. And I'm like, oh, look at that. And like, we're like one booth just off of each other. Because he's talking. I'm like, so I'm like sending a message. I'm like, Scott, stop talking. We've got to keep going. And you know it's bad when I'm trying to keep us on track. Scott gets into business mode. So if you don't know, and he hasn't mentioned it to you 3,000 times, he is an acoustical engineer. Is that correct, or something like that? Scientist.
I try not to use the word engineer too often.
oh, kind of like Cole Duke.
Could you say industry professional?
He is an industry. Listen, at this point, there's a lot of industry professionals. In
There
this.
is.
Yeah, and
Very
I mean,
proud of us.
my job I just transitioned into. I'm starting a new practice in a new city, so I'm just going around trying to network, trying to start up
Well,
conversations, generate
if you
new work.
practice
So like,
hard enough, you'll be able to do it for real. So.
yeah, but so like I walked in today like fresh off of like 8 meetings over the last 2 days, so I've just been sell mode. So that kind of kicked into today's
Yeah.
a bit.
You were kind of like the caffeine guy on Mad TV when that guy was all jacked up on caffeine. That was really Scott. Like, you
Like
walk
some-
in, you look 16 feet up in the air, and you see Scott's face, and it's just lit up and running fast.
Scott's like telling these people how their stuff works, and they're just like, okay.
Well, like, I was
just that slow nod, like,
and they're
mouth
like,
up.
I designed it. He's like, but I'm an acoustical engineer.
Yeah,
it's okay.
like I don't think you understand the engineering of the acoustics of this. So I'm gonna let you know. He's like, so the vortex came through, and I'm just like,
What about when the sound was dampening?
yeah. we were.
Nick is never appearing on the show again.
Thank you,
better
folks. Have a great night.
You better make it count. So, but
I'm not going down that pet peeve. That's for another episode.
We just took the mic out of his hands.
I,
Give it back. Give it back.
where's the duct tape?
I'm editing this show later, so I mean, whatever.
You're not editing anything. We're going to bed.
True.
He can edit.
I'll be up all night. Holy cow, Nick out of this whole show.
Half the
And tomorrow when Scott goes to talk to Fender, he's like, "Hey guys."
yeah.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
acoustic. Hey, boy.
I'm predicting around 2 tomorrow. I will not have a voice.
I'm just gonna crash.
Yeah.
See, Clifton has that nice like.
We're gonna be on
He's
the
got that
Gibson
low
tour,
voice.
Yeah.
Where
So-
he just rocks like it's
The
a
horse,
rock solid.
the hoarser
voice.
you get, the better it sounds, right?
So real quick,
You know
the
what? Your
weirdest
voice reminds
thing,
me of that Bob Seger song, "Like a Rock."
It kinda
like,
does.
Like
yeah.
a rock.
I just got that
Yeah.
on vinyl. My
I-
parents bought it for me. I haven't listened to it yet.
Did you
Listen,
guys
Bob
see?
Seger, Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band, classic.
They're amazing.
Yeah, no, but definitely like that's. See, Clifton's like, he's one of those people. He's like, I don't talk really loud. I just demand the attention in the room.
Did you
We're just
guys
like,
see the
yes, sir.
weird? I call it a weird instrument. It's a harpy looking guitar, but it had like they had one with the Mets logo.
No.
It was towards
Like a music note.
yeah, or it was like a music note shaped guitar, so it had like the guitar / heart fill. But
I don't think that was real. Are you okay?
Kevin saw it, and it was just a guy sitting in the booth by himself. He had 3 guitars, and it's when you first walk in. Let's look at that tomorrow. It's
Okay. So one
It's
of the all right. So my favorite thing at NAMM, and then I will wrap it up, is So NAMM, if you guys don't know, isn't really just it's a good place for businesses to launch products but it's a way for merchants and builders to come together and like really show that way. So a lot of people are out here trying to do actual business, trying to make things happen. And you can tell who those people are sometimes because you walk by the booth and there's just one guy in the booth looking at his phone and all that, just like waiting for someone to walk up.
In a suit.
In a suit. Just like, that's my favorite thing. So
I saw a guy in a suit just ripping Van Halen at one point.
Yes.
You see that too?
It's always fun too because you see the people who are like in the suit and then they do something crazy and you're just like,
You're not my dad. You're cool.
So, but tomorrow, does anyone have anything that they're really? We've got meetings set up all day, which I'm kind of dreading, but
We have like a free.
You know, like I blew all of my plans today, and I found that like now I never do what I intend to do. I end up doing something completely different.
yeah, we got pretty close to our plan today. Our plan was really to try to. Our plan today was to try to set up the next 2 days, but we kind of jumped in a little bit ahead and got some video content and some interviews, which was pretty cool because at one point we just turned to each other and we're just kind of like, yeah, why don't we like be productive? Because our goal today was kind of feel out who we wanted to talk to and try to.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad we're not going to marathon it tomorrow and kind of split it up because in doing anything on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday at least we'll have free time to go.
Saturday's the day that I really plan on actually going and like enjoying myself and playing the pedals that I don't get to play because that's whenever Saturday is public day. And even though nowadays everyone lets them and their friends come along, which is how some of us got in last year, stuff like that. Like Saturday, it's
Thanks, Daniel.
chaos. That was last year. We got in on our own this year. I'm proud of ourselves, like big boys. But we still had to stay at Daniel's place, and he's still taking care of us. But no, I'm excited to see that. There's gonna be like tomorrow. I'm excited to or Saturday, whatever day.
Tomorrow's Friday.
Tomorrow's Friday.
Yeah.
Saturday, I'm excited to kind of really go mess around. So
He's still on that East Coast time.
I'm on that East Coast. The way, never mind. Never mind. I'm just gonna move forward. All right, so for the Effects Loop and for the Clifton Worley Show, I'm Diaz.
I'm Mark.
Kevin.
I'm Nick.
Cliff.
Chris.
I'm Scott.
And this episode was brought to you by Stringjoy. I wanted to throw that in there again. So, all right, check them out. But you guys have a good night. See ya.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Peace.
I'm like, all right, it's like we say bye. Listen, I'm not even like I cuss like the best of them, dude. You need to talk to someone.
Mark, Mark, we're gonna get you an intervention, brother. We're gonna get you some help.
This episode is brought to you by early 2000s pop punk.
That's a Blink-182 song for those who are not educated.
I don't think
Thank you, Tom DeLonge, for the sponsorship.
Mark, if you need
I think that's a Mark song, actually.
All right.
what are you doing Sunday morning? You want to go to church or something?
If you're gonna pray for Mark, raise your hand.
Have like what, 6 church players?
Listen, we've got enough delay in there to save your soul. You're okay, buddy. Don't worry.
All right. Let's start the app.
We lost Daniel.
All right, hold on. We don't have to sync because you're recording it all.
We don't have to sync,
Yeah.
buddy.
This is so weird. Can we still clap just to make it feel
Yeah.
like normal?
All right. 3, 2, 1.
All right.
Oh, it's still off.
I did it.
I got distracted.